Good Monday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks on a cloudy, rain maybe morning. Galen Enoff from Life South joins us. He does it every week. Brought to you by the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, and just shipped. Galen, I knew we were going to get rain yesterday because my wife drug out the hose, stretched it out 50 feet all across the yard because right now our irrigation system is not working well. So she drug the hose out and put the sprinkler on the end of it. I go, that's going to make it rain. Within 3 hours, we had rain coming from everywhere. Something that we need, but it looks like it's going to bring cold with it, and I know you don't like the cold, Galen.
No, yeah, we do definitely need the rain, but what a gorgeous weekend it was this weekend. So, enjoyed FAFO, love FAFO. I think it's one of those things that makes Ocala great. But yeah, the weather was perfect. Rained in the evening, it was perfect.
Let's talk about FAFO for a minute because we went downtown, took in on Saturday, took in the farmers market, and then FAFO. Really some really good turnout. We were there from about noon to about 3:30. There were some things that I enjoyed about FAFO there. One was you could walk around with an adult beverage while you enjoyed FAFO. I thought that was
sure.
I thought that was made the situation that much more pleasurable. But just the fact that they take over so much of downtown and so many people come to it, it really is one of the highlights of the fall time in Ocala.
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger every year. I think they have more artists every year.
158 artists they had this week.
And it's incredible. I mean, there's some of everything. If you've never been to FAFO, it's incredible. My son came down from Florida State, so we dragged him there, and he enjoyed it. And I think there is something there for anyone and everyone, and I always enjoy it. Absolutely love it.
Everything from very expensive art all the way down to cool yard signs to very expensive jewelry all the way down to little handmade trinkets that you could get affordable, not cheap but
sure.
affordable. So there was something for everyone there. Here's my question though: where'd you park?
Oh, I parked. I got there early. We got there at about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, so you had no problem.
None. Parked right near 8th Street, the old school board complex right there. So, yeah, no problem. I mean, the Boy Scouts kill it, right? At the church, $10 a pop, they absolutely kill it.
Troop 72. That's Troop 72 that works out of that church. That's
there you go.
That's the same troop that teams with Hires Baxley, one of our sponsors. They teamed with Hires Baxley to properly dispose of old and tethered United States flags. So we like Boy Scout Troop 72 really a lot here at the station.
All right. Well, there you go.
So
there you go.
But there was a lot going on this week. I was when I looked at things to do for this weekend and how great the weekend was. It was a very perfect weekend weather-wise. There was a lot going on. I mean, a bunch. Saturday, we left the house Saturday about 10 o'clock in the morning. I got back at the house about 10:30 Saturday night. There was a bunch going on.
There really was. And again, it's always, this is, and now, the next thing we have to look forward to is Light Up Ocala, which is, so to me, uniquely Ocala. When you go down there with the lights, it's fantastic.
This weekend coming up, it'll be a weekend where adults need to be very careful as you're out and about on the roadways. And as a parent, you might know this better than me. We've had people call the radio station 2 or 3 times. Is Halloween going to be celebrated Saturday night, the 30th, or Sunday night, the 31st for trick-or-treaters? Because it is a Sunday night,
I don't know.
I think maybe they're going to double dip. If I was a kid, I'd try to double dip Saturday and Sunday.
I don't know. Somebody will tell me. I will figure that out. I have no idea.
You're in a high traffic. You're in a high traffic trick or treat area too, pal.
Well, our gate prevents a lot of it actually So most of
Yeah,
what
but with
we
that
get are
convenience store
friends.
going in now, people will be able to walk in and out of the property.
Well, that's a different issue. We'll see. We'll see. Last year it wasn't bad. I mean, my neighbor and I decided a few years ago that we're going to just turn this into an opportunity to drink a little, and so we just dragged the fire pit out to the middle of the street, bring some tailgating chairs, sit out in the middle of the street, and just hand out candy from there.
On the
Sit there and,
so you're on the end of a cul-de-sac there, are you?
No. We're right in the middle of the street.
So you just pull it out
We
right in the
don't
middle
care.
of the street. You don't care.
Don't care. That you shouldn't be driving during this time. I'm a big believer in that. And like these people who bring in like the truckloads of cars, we're like, you're not driving past here. We just look dead at them. I'm sorry, you're not. You could just.
Kids
do
can
it.
walk
You could just
from
stay
here,
right
but you're
there
not
on the
driving.
corner.
Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct.
And that means a safe street for the kids.
That's correct. And we do have a bunch of little kids that live on our street, and they park in my grass, which is a bigger issue. As I get older, my grass becomes more important to me. I don't know. It's an amazing thing that your grass becomes like a sign of what kind of a man you are. But I think that's where I'm at in my life.
Your grass is defining you. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. The quality of my grass is better than your grass. Where I'm at in life.
Huh.
I literally walk around my neighborhood and go, mine's better than that guy's.
Tell me you're not the guy that.
I'm at the top 3 yard in the neighborhood, and I don't think that's questionable.
Now, do you do the yard, or do you pay to have the yard done?
No, I do it. I do it. It's until my son leaves. He's going to mow the grass, and then once that happens, I have this side hill that hurts my knees, and I can't cut it. But I think a kid needs to understand how bad it is to cut your own grass. So
we all had to do it. We all had to do it.
That's correct. That's correct. So once he's gone, so I've got another 6 months of grass cutting, and then I'll be investing into someone else to do it. They'll probably do a better job.
You know, as all kids do, I'm sure. I've never asked this about the kids because I was a kid at the time. But as all kids do, I'm sure, you come up with very inventive ways to get out of grass cutting. And
you know what sucks about that? The lawnmowers are just too damn reliable now.
Right. Well, that's where I got, when I was a little kid, when I was, 10, 11 years old, I think it was 10 years old, 76, so it had to be 10 years old. I literally took a handful of dirt and rocks and poured it into the gas tank of our lawnmower.
Of course.
To try to destroy the motor.
Sure.
Which I did.
Yeah.
Destroyed a good 3.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. Nothing wrong with the Briggs & Stratton till I put dirt and rocks in the gas tank.
Sure.
I, of course, didn't think my dad was near smart enough to figure out I had did it. So he figures out, of course, that I had did it because I'm the only person with the lawnmower. And when he comes to me, he goes, "Boy, did you put dirt and rocks in the lawnmower to make it break?" Because I'm scared to death of the man even today, and he's been dead for 30-some-odd years, I immediately knew my goose was cooked and said, "Yes, Dad, I hate cutting the grass." He goes, "Well, I'm going to teach you a lesson about cutting grass, son. You'll never, ever be disappointed with a push mower ever again." And he leaves, and he doesn't say anything. I thought, wonderful. He's going to get a better lawnmower. It'll cut grass faster. He comes back about 2.5 hours later. He's been to the Western Auto in town. He comes back with another push mower. This one has 5 circular blades on it, and it rotates and cuts your grass as you push it. Yeah, no motor, nothing. It was one of the old-timey metal cages that cut your grass as you push it because the blades are what you're pushing.
Sure.
No motor, nothing. No powered, no Tecumseh engine, no Briggs & Stratton engine, Tom Schmidt's 2 legs engine. That's pretty much what I had then.
Woo.
And this is not,
That's a character builder.
a regular lawnmower with a motor, regular lawnmower with a motor it doesn't bog down unless the grass is really, really high. This mower bogged down when I couldn't push it. I never again. And I had to cut the grass. He taught this lesson not for one season, but 2. I was 12 years old before I got a lawnmower that had a motor on it. Again. And my sister pointed out, my older sister pointed out, that doesn't look self-propelled. Shut up. It's got a motor on it. Because I destroyed a self-propelled motor earlier.
Oh, wow.
And this was 1976, so self-propelleds were new things.
Sure.
I destroyed a self-propelled mower.
Then you earned it. You earned what you got, huh?
I certainly did, sir. But
you
you know
would have
what?
much preferred a spanking.
You know what? I'm 55 years old. That lesson still resonates with me today, just as if I was being taught it again.
There you go. That's a good story.
You know, so cutting grass can build character in a young man.
Well, it can. It can. It can cause heat stroke as well. But I'm that guy now who just stands around in his neighborhood and looks and says, "My yard is better than yours."
Yeah, I'm not that guy. My yard looks like it's got 12, 15 different weeds in it, but when you cut it all close, it's all green. It's all green.
I'm the guy who's studying. You know, I'm past just buying like the generic Scott's brand fall stuff. No. I'm going for the stuff that just has the nutrients that I believe my yard needs. So yeah.
You're better than the Scott's. You're better than the Scott's turf guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Well,
That's what you're saying.
I made my own blend. That's where I'm at.
A little black cow
I have other
manure.
people
You know.
Oh gosh, that's the best. By the way, it is the best. I have people come up to me and go, "Hey, how do you get your yard looking like this?"
Say I keep my wife on top of it. That's how. She stays on top of it.
No, first of all, I'm like, well, you got to be dedicated, and you know, I go ahead and break out my 45-minute PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my goodness!
And I can walk them through how to get a good-looking lawn.
I'm going to walk us through how to go to commercial break. We'll be right back after the
you
timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
It's Monday. Not sure how you did it, but you actually survived an entire 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job to you. And once again, good luck.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Monday, October 25th. Next week when we come to you on Monday, it'll be November 1st. This year has flown by as last year's drug by through the pandemic. This one's flown by. The way I feel about it, Galen, from Life South joins us thanks to good folks at Penn Flooring Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center and Just Ship. Galen, does it seem like this year's flown by to you?
Yeah, there have been pieces of it that have been pretty quick. So, yeah, absolutely.
It's just hard to believe we're at the holiday season already. You know, November
Not at the
7
holiday season.
November
We're not
7
at the
days
holiday
away.
season. We're not at the holiday. We're not in the holiday season.
November 7 days away. Once you get to
We're not-
Halloween, you're at the holiday season.
We're not in the Halloween. We're not in the holiday season.
So here's the $1 million question: does Galen,
Yeah.
when he's out at the
Yeah.
fire pit in the middle of the road hanging out
Uh-huh.
Halloween candy, is he in a
Yeah.
costume of some sort?
Oh, heck no. I'm a grown man. No. No. And I think it's okay, like if my wife does, but no, I'm a grown man.
So you don't put the
I-
costumes on ever. You hadn't put one on since you were like what, 12, 13?
The closest I've come to a costume is we went to Mickey's Not So Merry Christmas. My wife wanted us to match. And so we went as a referee, which I thought was funny. And so I just put in like a black and white striped referee shirt. That was it.
Now, is that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween or the Christmas thing?
Halloween. I'm sorry.
Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you said Not So Merry
We used to
Christmas.
go
I was
to
like,
both.
no,
I
Mickey's
did.
Very Merry
I
Christmas.
screwed those up. I screwed both of those up. We've been to both, and they're great for kids.
They really are good for kids. And, adults that want to stand in line and get candy, too. Not that I've ever done it with my fingers crossed because I'm lying right on the radio. But, it's a good time. Good time. So you don't then take invitations to adult costume parties and stuff like that over the Halloween weekend.
I mean, I do, but I just don't dress up. I just think I'm like.
It's a
I
costume party. What are you, too cool?
I don't. No, I just don't. I don't know. I think I talked to my son about it. I'm like, I am comfortable being me. I mean, and that was not an easy. It took a while being comfortable being me, and I think now that I'm comfortable being me, I really don't want to be anybody else.
But if you go to a costume party and you're just not there in costume, you're not a little uncomfortable that you buck the trend and just turned your nose up at the whole idea?
And that's the other thing. I've been to and I don't get invited to parties very often.
Because people know you're not going to come in costume.
That may be true. I don't know. And usually, if we get invited, we had something going on, right? I mean,
and your costume would be easy. Just throw a headset on. That's all you got to do. Throw a headset on. I'm a play-by-play guy. Everybody would believe that. It'd be an easy costume. Just like me. Some years I go as Fred Flintstone. It's not that far of a reach. But I can't believe, your wife doesn't get invited to costume parties that she asks you to attend? We lost Galen, He's gone. We started talking about costumes and his wife, and he went away. So now you're back.
Yeah.
What? Now you're back.
Yeah.
You don't. Your wife doesn't get invited to costume parties, and she asks you to go or anything.
No, not that she may have quit asking me. I mean, we've been married a long time. We have gone to them. It's just not, I don't know, not something, I don't know, costume parties, I don't get it. Because there's always that couple that takes everything way too far. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, look at you. Congratulations.
There's always that one.
Sit here and enjoy my.
There's always that one adult couple that gets so risque. You're like, I didn't know we were doing soft porn at this party. I didn't know that. I know that.
Yeah, and then the guy that mocks you, and like, all right, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I went to a costume party one time. I must have been. I was probably in my mid-30s, and I came dressed as a state prisoner. I had the orange jumpsuit on with the state number and everything. And some guy started mocking me, and another buddy of mine leans into the guy and goes, "He's really been to prison. I wouldn't screw with him." Guy comes up.
Really a costume.
The guy comes up. He apologizes and everything. I'm like, what, dude? Well, I was making fun of you earlier because of the prison thing and everything. You know, you dress like a convict. No, I didn't know. I apologize. I really didn't mean to aggravate you. I was like, the hell are you talking about? I had no idea what he's talking about. One of my buddies had scared him to death. You know, he really was. He really was.
Well, that's the way you handle it. That's the only way that's fun. No, I just rather.
I mean, we're not going
I'm not in the costume.
Like we've been invited.
So you obviously have a big party.
Oh yeah, we've been invited.
We've
been invited to a party, and when I tell you where it's at, I won't tell you exactly whose it is or anything because I don't want to get it out on the radio. But I'll just tell you, it's in the historic district on 5th. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, all right. Yeah, there you go.
So it's going to be one of very nice party, and my wife and I are going. We went costume shopping and everything, and we didn't do the terrible thing. Like, like there's no milk and cookie combination going. There's no peanut butter jelly sandwich going. You know what I mean?
You have to match in some way, shape, or form.
Well,
and you could spend $20 or you could spend $20,000.
She's recycling. She's recycling an outfit.
Is she going as shipped?
No, she's going. We're going as. We're going weak. We're going as pirates. You know what I mean? It's weak.
You should. See, that's the other bailout, isn't it? Yeah, you know what you should be is you should be like a package, and she should just be like the shipper of
the shipper of the package. I should go in a brown box with my arms to it and everything.
Correct.
And she should go in there just ship clothes.
Correct.
I think that's a fantastic
With or without
idea.
the arms? With or without the arms?
With or without the arms. I think that's a fantastic idea. Like, I tried to get her to go as Fred and Wilma Flintstone. She goes, no.
Haven't you done that like a million times?
Hello. I could be the modern day Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, I get it, but go to.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
you go with what makes you feel. You go with what makes you feel most comfortable when you're in a setting where there's a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I don't. That would be me, and I'm just gonna wear my linen today. That's what I would do.
Yeah, Don Johnson called. He wants his linen back.
Dude, I could wear linen every day.
Yeah, because you really went to the auction when they were selling the prop clothes from Miami Vice and bought it all.
You wouldn't wear that every day if you bought it?
Every day.
Every day.
Look, I until recently.
It would look like crap on us, but
until recently, when I finally succumbed to that, I couldn't wear them anymore. I had Cuba Vera linen pants that were like 20 years old that I still wore because they were great linen pants.
They're just the best.
You know,
they're the best.
You can't go wrong with linen. And
nope.
And you know what I'm holding on to because I know it's going to make a comeback. Seersucker. I'm holding on to it. It's going to make a comeback. I'm holding on.
I was at a conference last week in Georgia, and somebody wore it. I'm like, oh, dude, I love that. He goes, man, I love seersucker.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna if the mullet, which has made a huge comeback, can come back, seersucker can come back.
That's true.
And you see people with mullets. It's back, and it's as hideous as it was when I had one.
Terrible.
Something you never had to deal with because you started going bald. What, like 11 years old, 12 years old, something like that?
It feels like it.
Hey, we're gonna take a break. We come back more with Galen. You know, we got to talk about Friday night and what happened Friday night when 7-1 meets 7-0, and we'll also talk about the World Series. It gets started on Tuesday. This is Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. You're listening to WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
3 abandoned children, ages 15, 10, and 7, and the skeletal remains of a 4th person, also possibly a child, were found Sunday west of downtown Houston, Texas. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez.
But very disturbing sets of circumstances, so we definitely want some answers for these children. It appears that they were basically fending for each other.
Sudan's civil prime minister Abdallah Hamdok was put under house arrest, and several other ministers were detained Monday in what appears to be a military coup. Millions of kids under 12 could be getting COVID-19 shots within the first week or two of November. There are approximately 28 million kids in America, the least affected age group of the dangers of COVID-19. The World Series in baseball is set. The Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros Game 1 is Tuesday evening on Fox. Thanks for listening. It's well appreciated. We are USA Radio News.
Folks, it looks like food shortages are here and going to stick around. Supply chains are breaking down, and inflation is back with a vengeance. It's all part of the shortage economy. What used to be unthinkable is now in the headlines. Are you ready? Do you currently have a stockpile of emergency food at home? If not, go to mypatriotsupply.com today, and you'll find an emergency food kit that's right for you and your family. My Patriot Supply is the largest preparedness company in America, serving millions of families like yours. Pick up a 3-month food kit that stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage. The meals in the kit provide over 2,000 delicious calories a day. That's important when you need to survive. Order from mypatriotsupply.com and your food will ship fast in unmarked boxes to protect your privacy. Don't wait for permission or more empty store shelves. Go to mypatriotsupply.com now. mypatriotsupply.com.
Just in, folks, at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala, a great new selection of winter hardy annuals at a truly amazing low price. Now take your pick from snapdragon, petunias, dianthus, flowering cabbage, Johnny Jump Up, and many more. Mix and match your choice, a flat of $15 for just $23.99. It's Camellia time, and Bob Wine's famous heirloom sun and shade loving camellias, the gallon size, not $19.99, just $16.99 this week. And those popular dwarf camellias in pink and red, they're just $19.99. Bob has more herbs than you've ever seen. They start at just $1.99. And how about this doorbuster? Confederate Jasmine closeout price. You get 2 for $10. Spruce up for cool weather now at Ocala's 5.5-acre garden. Bob Wine's Camellia Garden, Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, in the same blooming place for almost 70 years.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
Two Men in a Truck.
It's Monday. Not sure how you did it, but you actually survived an entire 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job to you. And once again, good luck.
That was the iconic call from Skip Carey that started the hysteria in 1991 of worst to first. Galen, we got about 2 minutes. I got some guests in the studio that, one of those things in live radio where something gets missed, but we're gonna take care of it. So, Galen, the World Series starts tomorrow. The Braves and the Astros. I predicted correctly the Braves would win against the Los Angeles Dodgers in 6 live on the radio before it started. You got my back on that, correct?
That's correct.
So I'm going with, because I'm a pragmatist, I'm being honest, I got to be objective. Astros in 5.
Well, I hope the Braves win.
So do I.
I actually think the Braves are a better team right now. I like the Braves in this series. I think the Braves get it done in 6.
I
think
think
the way they're pitching is just incredible.
As long as they keep Luke Jackson out of the game.
Sure.
As long as they keep him out of the game. Hey, Galen, tell me where the Bloodmobile is today.
Hey, Bloodmobile today. We're at the Summerfield Walmart, so come by and check us out. And as always, just get the life, donate blood. And as Tom said, we need to start preparing for the holiday season, and that starts with a safe and adequate blood supply. So get the life, donate blood.
Galen, from Life South, brought to you by good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, and Just Ship. Galen, thanks for joining us. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, all.
Galen, from Life South. Now in studio with me, if I can get all these microphones turned on, I got a bunch of microphones I got to get turned on, is Pat Keith, Herb Katz, and Kay Fleischacker. Did I say that right? Close enough. 1, 3. Let's hope I got the right ones. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, let's do 1, 2, 1, 3, and 4. Did I get that right? No, I did not. Now I got it right. Now everybody can be heard. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Again.
Pat, good morning to you.
Thank you. No, thank you for having us.
Always a pleasure when I have it. Little miscommunication this morning. I was not aware that you guys were coming in, but I love when you come in and I get to talk to you because it's all about faith and all about good community leadership, and that's part of what goes on at First Congregation United Church of Christ. Pat, you led the committee to relocate and refurbish the church, correct?
Around the end of 2014, our church members decided that we needed to figure out some ways to revitalize our church and to move it forward so that it was still vital into the next 50 or 100 years. So we gathered the church members in small groups to work on some plans for the future. Out of those meetings came a committee, which we called the STEP Committee, Special Team Exploring Possibilities. We started looking at the possibility of selling our property or buying new property. And ultimately, two of our members and our pastor, Hal McSwain, sat down with a person who potentially had some land to sell. In that conversation, the person who they were with was talking about Temple Beth Shalom being in much the same situation. And out of that conversation grew the idea of joining together to provide an interfaith worship center for all religions and a community base for educational, artistic, and religious activities.
What was the major hurdle, though, to make this come about? Because I think the major hurdle may be in the room.
Well, actually, yes. We ultimately invited Herb and Rabbi Harari to sit down with us and came to an agreement that this was a viable idea, and then began to gather our congregations to talk to them about the possibility of this unique idea. And there was the major hurdle.
Herb, talk a little bit about when you and the Rabbi took this to your congregants about saying, hey, we're going to partner with a group to share real estate and everything, and we're going to do it because that's where we've been driven. That's where the God has talked to us, and that's what that looks like a viable solution that we've gotten offered to us.
Well, Tom, the first hurdle was me.
Yeah.
I came to a meeting with Ken Colin, Pat, Dr. Howe, and they presented us to me without any prefacing, and I thought they all grew two heads. And after a couple of meetings, I realized that this was a great display, a chance for a great display of unification in the community, to do an awful lot for the community.
Because a lot of people, when you say you're a shared congregation, you're not really. you're sharing property, but you're not sharing congregations.
Well,
and a lot of people think that it's the same. You have the temples there, the worship halls there. It's not a shared congregation.
Definitely not. It's two separate sanctuaries, and the building actually has two separate kitchens, and we're two separate congregations. But our goal is to do things together, not necessarily prayer meetings. However, when something goes wrong, we're there for each other, such as a couple of years ago, the temple was threatened by terrorists. And after the FBI took care of the whole thing, we had a prayer service at the synagogue, and it was really wonderful. Tears still come to my eyes when I think about it, because not only did the FCC congregation show up, but the Muslim community showed up, including the imam.
That's really good. It's kind of like when I first had you guys in here, and I was talking to the rabbi and Reverend Howe and everything. I thought it's kind of like Jack Klugman and Tony Randall. It's the odd couple, but it works because while there's two separate, very distinct differences, when metal meets the road, both congregations have the other congregation's back.
Well, to answer your original question, when at the time I was the presiding officer at Temple Beshalom, I was met with incredibility, and it was just one of the members just was out of his head.
Not going to do it.
Right. And the reason is because Jews very often are leery when it comes to something like this because they're afraid of attempts of proselytation.
Well, there is a track record of that happening to the Jewish faith, since the beginning of time.
You think? And so after a bunch of objections, I had him have dinner with Dr. Howe, and he not only came on board, but when we organized the Joint Planning Council, of which all three of us here are members, he became a member, and he's been in the forefront of the whole thing. Just to let you know, misconceptions, another person was very, very much against it, and she says because the building won't be holy. And I explained to her that a building is only holy if there's people in it. No building is holy on its own. And she went home, thought about it, and now she's a driving force in the whole thing.
Well, I got told one time, it's a true story, I won't say who did it, but it's a well-documented story. I understand what you mean when people come to you with something and say, it's not holy or something. I got one time, had a guy say, I know Tom doesn't understand Christianity, being he's Catholic and everything. Somebody actually said that about my faith because he knew I didn't understand being a Christian, being I was Catholic. So I understand when people say things that you just sometimes make you go, did those words just come out of your mouth?
Tom, when we were visiting, my wife and I were visiting in Norway. They took us from church to church to church. And I knew there were still a few Jews left in Norway. And I asked the guide, do you have any religions here other than Christianity? And she says, yeah, we have some Catholics here too.
So it's not just here, it's in Norway too. Norway too. So let's talk about then, so you got 6 members from each church to be on a committee, because I would think communication and work through this committee is very vital to keep this a viable option of 2 separate congregations coinciding together.
Yes, you're quite right. And we've worked through a number of roadblocks and tried to be as transparent as we could with both congregations. We've held joint congregational meetings, which we call town hall meetings, to lay aside any fears that people might have, answer any questions that they have, and those have proved to be valuable.
Kay, when they brought this to you, what was your first thought?
Well, my first thought was business. I mean, both congregations, honestly, financially, could help each other by a business. You know, whether we like to admit it or not, there is a business component here.
Certainly, even though it's a nonprofit, there's still a business component.
Exactly.
Lights have to be turned on, stuff like that.
And when the temple meets versus when the church meets, church is on Sunday usually, temple's
on
Friday
night,
and sometimes
right.
Saturday morning. The place is sitting there most of the time empty for both religions, so it made good business sense. And you know, as Herb said, you know, some of the hesitation, and you said also that with persecution of Jews over the years and centuries. And
centuries?
Since the beginning of time.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway.
Millenniums.
So, you know, there's some skepticism there. But, you know, the more we started talking with different church members, interfaith kept coming up more and more. And that's been a driving force, and I'm excited about that. We should be living, you know, all this preaching. We need to live what we preach.
We certainly do. You need to walk a bit in footsteps that you say you walk in. So when you formed the 6-member, what was the process to form the 12-member council, 6 from each? Was that a very difficult process? Did people step right up and say, I'd like to be a part of it? What was that process like?
Each congregation appointed 6 people, including the clergy, onto what we call the Joint Planning Council. And we meet once a month and have since, I think, late in 2015 or early 2016. And then we consider business, we discuss it, we come to agreement, then we go to our congregations for confirmation. We've done a number of interfaith events together, Thanksgiving dinner, unity service, so that the members get to know each other. But ultimately, what our goal is to be a beacon for this community and this state and even this nation of non-discrimination.
Inclusivity. It was something that we have, in the last 8 to 10 years, have decided we don't want to do anymore. We want to have our own little sects, and we want to have our own little groups and our own little cliques, and we don't want to get along anymore. And yet here's a prime example of 2 groups of people who have come together and get along famously with 2 separate ideologies.
Exactly.
To me, what y'all are doing is, for the only way to put it, God's work. Because
don't get us wrong, Tom. We did lose members over the whole
Of course
thing.
you did.
But going up 80th Avenue right now and seeing this beautiful building almost complete, while Pat's been working on this for 7 years. I've been working on it for 6 years. Kay was right behind me because she ended up as an original member of the Joint Planning Council. It just brings a lot of emotion right to the forefront just to see this.
Now, Herb, I heard a rumor that you stepped aside from some of this to let Kay have the reins of it because she's a little more detail-oriented than you are.
I'm an organizer, and I help to organize the Joint Planning Council. I help to organize a lot of things that we're doing right now. And then when the building was coming to fruition, Kay is much more clever at these things, and so she's been running it for at least.
She gets the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
I'm the cattle prod.
Yeah, right. You're the bump in the back. Keep moving.
Absolutely.
Well, and Kay and I talk just about every week so that we are both aware of anything that's going on that needs our attention. And I want everybody to know about this project because we're so excited about it, and we want to invite the community to participate perhaps in the grand opening, which we hope will happen not long after the first of the year.
How much influence did the Colin family help with getting this started and on the track towards unity?
Ken Colin wanted it, and he was probably the reason that I got on board with it because, like I said, I was very leery of it to begin with, as was the gentleman who was upset at the board meeting when I presented it. But since he was a past president of Temple Beth Shalom, Kay was a past president of Temple Beth Shalom, I really felt as if this is something that was going to happen, because if he wants something done, usually happens.
Well, there's so much going on out there in 80th now with the temple, with this Unitarian Universal Worship Center being done between you two guys, with the natatorium, with Kalesa being built, with the school, the charter school being built. There's so much being, and even though you lost some members over this, I would bet to say with the new development, the new people moving in and everything, you're probably going to gain some members in the long run with this decision.
We're hoping so.
I happen to be living on top of the world, and people are asking me on a daily basis, when is it going to open? When is it going to open? They're ready.
So, with that being said, when's it going to open?
Well,
Mid-February?
we're hoping that we have an occupancy date of sometime before Christmas. However, there'll be a moving process, and so it's likely that we'll have some worship services early in January, but there will also be plenty of advance notice of our grand opening whenever that happens, hopefully in January or early February. We're not absolutely certain, but again, the invitation is there.
We're speaking with Pat Keith, from First Congregation United Church of Christ, Herb Katz from Temple Beth Shalom, and Kate Flyshaker.
Flyshaker.
Flyshaker. Okay. Flyshaker, also from Temple Beth Shalom. Let's talk for a minute, because I know when you start a new construction like this and everything, there are unforeseen roadblocks that get thrown up. There are things that you just don't factor in. So are we on time and budget, or do we need funds? Are we looking for the community to try to help us get over the finish line? Where are we, Kay?
Well, the building itself is pretty much online. We've been told all along, mid-December. Like everything else, we've got one last dehumidifier that
which we have to have in Florida.
Which we have to have, and it may not come to the beginning of January. So that's the first roadblock. We've had wonderful luck. The builders planned and didn't get caught in a lot of the backlog that the rest of building is going through right now. The answer to, I don't know any religious nonprofit organization anywhere that doesn't need money. So the answer is yes, we will be doing some major fundraising locally, as well as we hope nationally, maybe even internationally, because to our knowledge, there's only 3 situations like this that are formed a corporation together. Now you have churches that will rent to temples, and you have temples that will rent to churches.
Right.
But to form a true partnership like this and build, there's only 3 others that we know of in the country. So that's a real, kudos to Florida, this area. There's nothing in the South. The ones we know, I think one's in Colorado, one's in Michigan. Where's the
Ann Arbor is one.
Yeah, no disrespect to the churches in the South, but I don't see a whole lot of getting along because of the messages and how different they are and everything. Yeah. It's probably the undertaking you guys have done is probably very, very difficult, but it's also something you got to be futuristic. You got to look at the big picture moving forward. And from an economic standpoint, this makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. We have actually formed, we have an endowment that we're just starting. So exactly for the reasons you're saying, for the future. We can't be so short-sighted to look just today. We have to look to the future. And
unless you're the largest landowner in the world, i.e., the Pope Francis, money's a struggle.
Absolutely.
Tom, I'd like to put in a shout out to the construction company that's been working on this building.
Certainly.
They have been extremely accommodating. The guys have been, and the women have been welcoming anytime we wanted to take a tour of members through the building. So I can't say enough about the project manager, Jim Walkup, and the construction company.
How gratifying is it? Because you always see future home of, and there'll be a sign on a piece of property, future home of, and it'll sit there 12, 15 years without any development. You guys went from talks of joining congregations, not as together, but two separate congregations under the same building, basically, from talks to actually having a building standing up and being ready to move in what, less than 7 years?
Oh, and we broke ground just about a year ago.
I mean, how gratifying is that to see that you can get a large group of adults who all have their own way of thinking and bring them all together to say, not only are we going to do this, but we're not going to waste any time doing this. And because relatively from the time y'all open these negotiations to where you have a building built, that's going to be 7.5 years. That's a blink of the eye. It's hard to believe y'all got everybody on the same page, got everybody to say, sign off on it. And yeah, you lost some members, but to get the majority of you to sign off on it and to do this in 7 years, that says a lot about the goodness of both congregations.
Well, I would tell you that both congregations are like, what is taking so long? We're ready to be in there. So, but yes, you're right. Your perspective is this has been a pretty swift moving event, project. But we have lots of members that are, come on, what is going on? We should be in there by now.
Yeah, they thought that we should have been in there 5 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
I thought...
Well, you're going to blink your eyes, blink your eyes, snap your fingers, and a building appears?
Yeah, well, I thought this happens every week, But we've had some external forces that have aided us in getting this done, and it just is a wonderment that this is really coming to fruition now.
Just like he told Job, I'm never going to give you anything that's too much for you. And he gave Job a lot. He gave Job a lot.
But we're running a close second.
Close second. So it looks like then you'll be able to move in to do some things in December, but really February is probably the jump-off point where everything will be done?
I think so.
Is that what everybody's hoping for?
At the latest, yes.
At the latest.
We're hoping.
You're hoping. Now, will there be a big joint ceremony for the opening and everything?
Yeah, we'll hope you're there.
I will try to make it.
Yeah.
Great.
Father Pat will probably charge me $50 for going, but But so there will be a big celebration and everything amongst both congregations for the opening of this building.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
A joint celebration.
A joint celebration.
And then we may have a couple for the whole community, media openings, so you all can come. It's a nice sized building, but not big enough for thousands.
Are there any plans to, on a regular basis, have maybe once or twice a year the congregations get together to fellowship?
Absolutely. More than that. We're hoping at least once monthly. We want to do some interfaith projects for the community, whether it's a blood drive or a voter registration drive, CPR classes, a class on beginning Judaism. A lot of people in this area they don't know, what Jews believe in, and the same, with the church. They want to show, so we will be doing some major interfaith things, and our goal is to at least once a month.
Tom, just to bring you up.
We got about 20 seconds.
Up to snuff. We've had in the past social events like sock hops. We had a joint Thanksgiving dinner already. We had a casino night. We've done things together, and we try to act as one, even though we're two separate congregations.
The congregations are the First Congregation United Church of Christ and Temple Beth Shalom. Thanks so much for coming in, giving us an update on where we are, and we hope to have you back once you get opened and an invite to come out to the joint celebration. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
WUSA Radio News with Lance Pry.
A La Nina storm system has drenched Northern California and parts of the Pacific Northwest with heavy rains overnight. Some flooding and mudslides are being reported in parts of California. It also caused widespread power outages in